Developing tonight, the mother of a 15-year-old boy who was shot and killed Tuesday night is pleading for answers.
I'm very angry. I'm very upset. He was shot several times in the chest and abdomen.
This is Kareem Wilson Jr. His mother says he died after being shot more than once in the chest. This happened in Greenbelt, and tonight police are still searching for the shooter. Our Megan Rivers is speaking with his mother.
He won't be able to fulfill his dream of becoming a music artist.
Music artist, translation, rapper. So there's our first clue into what may have happened to this young man. Hip-hop is extremely dangerous now. I mean, extremely dangerous. If you have a young man in your home or a young man in your family that's interested in hip-hop, they just had a dancer up in New York get killed, a hip-hop dancer, T. Wu. They had another rapper. This is just in New York City. Nas Blicky get shot in the head. He's in critical condition. And I've done enough stories on dead rappers this year, and this isn't even a hip-hop channel. Go to the hip-hop channels on YouTube and watch and look at all the stories about dead rappers just this year. Just this year. Very dangerous. Coast to coast. I mean, L.A. to New York, Indiana to Miami. Rappers are getting killed all the time. So he may have been in that little hip-hop world. It's very interesting to find out more about that.
He won't be able to fulfill his dream of becoming a music artist. His days of playing football are over. Because on Tuesday night, someone shot and killed 15-year-old Kareem Wilson Jr., leaving his mother in shambles.
As the kids like to say, that was my boy.
Tamika says she was winding down for the night while this was happening, steps away from her front door. She didn't want to go on camera. Her emotions still too raw.
I'm very angry. I'm very upset. He was shot several times in the chest and abdomen.
Mourning the loss of Kareem while also caring for her other son, who was also hit by a bullet in that same shooting.
Yikes. Yikes. Wow. And I know a lot of people say, well, she's got to be a single mom because we don't see the father. And that's most likely true. However, in these communities, let's just say she had a father in the home. There was a father in the home, right? And he wasn't, a transient or a vagabond or, wayward, can't get right dude. If he was a stable guy in the community, in his family's life, providing, in the house at night, not running the streets. Let's just say she had that type of man in her home, right? Now you got one family like that in the community. So her kids go out and play and the same thing still happens. By y'all theory. Now, I don't think that that's what causes this, but for those of you who say that's what causes this, that is single mother homes, I believe it's a factor. It could account for, a small percentage of what's going on. But those of you who subscribe to that notion that it's the single mother homes that are causing this violence and crime, one home with a daddy in it ain't gonna do nothing. You saw Boys in the Hood, right? Furious Styles, Trey's dad. You had to ship that boy off. To college, man. That boy had to have the strength to jump out of a car about to do a drive-by at the last minute. The boy's best friend got killed in a shooting. And if they had stayed together and not broken up and ran separate ways to elude the shooters, they may have both gotten killed. Boys in the Hood. Go check it out if you're young and you ain't never seen it. Boys in the Hood. Classic movie. Now, what I'm saying is, my point is, my moral to the story is, if it's single moms causing this stuff, and this woman had a husband, whatever effect single moms have on that neighborhood or that community would have overpowered this one woman having a husband in her home and the kids having a father in their home. It wouldn't have made an iota of difference.
An abdomen.
Mourning the loss of Kareem while also caring for her other son, who was also hit by a bullet in that same shooting. Few details have been released about the shooting. We saw investigators that night searching a car. Tamika says Kareem was like many other kids his age, trying to find his place in the world, and at times didn't always make the best decisions, but had been committed to making his family proud.
Hadn't always made the best decisions. Well, I mean, look. Listen, I used to do security at Beltway Plaza. That's the mall right here in Greenbelt. So what is it, Spring Hill Lake? Some apartment complex they had behind the mall. I can't remember. I think that's the name of it. And, you had, your hood element out there, but now it's worse. It's like the suburbs are like the city now. And this kid, I mean, what is he going to do, man, other than be that? I mean, you got to send these kids away, man. If these kids are in the community, he was playing football. She had him in athletics. I did a story earlier, last year, where a Chicago football team, a youth football team in Chicago, they lost 15 players in the last 2 years. I'll put a link to that video in the description box or in the pinned comment in the chat. And it has nothing to do with the football team. It has to do with the kids that play on the football team come from these communities. The kids who play on the football team come from these communities. And when practice is over, they go back to these communities. And these communities are very, very dangerous and very violent because of the people and the culture. And the people make the culture. The culture comes from the people. They have so many programs and resources and services in these communities, and it doesn't matter because the people create the culture, and the culture is extremely violent, and the young people commit a great deal of the violence. So there's nothing that can be done to solve this stuff. There's really nothing that can be done. In the greatest country in the world, and everything's at your fingertips, but what can be done, man? I don't think anything can be done to stop this. I think this just keeps happening.
Tamika says Kareem was like many other kids his age, trying to find his place in the world, and at times didn't always make the best decisions, but had been committed to making his family proud.
They go through trials and tribulations that parents don't always understand, but we try to support them the best way that we can.
It's the blatant disregard for life leaving Tamika livid.
They don't understand the quality of life. Turn yourself in.
If you could say anything to Kareem, what would you say?
If you only knew how much I love you.
In Greenbelt, Megan Rivers, WUSA 9.
Just incredibly sad. We did reach out to Greenbelt Police today to see if there was any update on suspects and the motive. They tell us the investigation is still ongoing, and at this time, there are no updates.
Indeed, he is wonderful. Ethan Hill is a 9-year-old whose heart is set on helping the homeless. As you can see him back here packing those bags. Now he's a nominee for the 2022 Time and Nickelodeon Kid of the Year Award. Hill says he's just excited and thankful to be even mentioned to get this award.
I was just doing what was right at the time, and I'm still doing that. So I don't I don't care about all the recognition. I just want to do what's good for the people that's out there.
Ethan Hill may soon make a splash on a nationwide stage. He's been nominated to be Time Magazine's and Nickelodeon 2022 Kid of the Year.
It feels nice to be in this position that I am now, because the more people I meet, the bigger platform I have to be able to tell people what's really going on out here and to be able to get help for those people.
Since Hill was 6 years old, he's been helping out the homeless community in Birmingham.
So I was driving to school every day, and I saw Mr. Marcus under the freeway bypass, and it was getting cold at the time, so I wanted to know how I can help him stay warm and eat.
So Hill decided to buy sleeping bags and essential items and fill them in a bucket. He then passed them around into the city of Birmingham.
So this kid started when he was 6. I'm sure this kid comes from a good family, and this is probably, I would be surprised if this is a single mom situation. And it could be, though. It could be. It very well could be. If you see that rendition behind him, it's just a child and a woman in it. So he may have a single mom, and it could be. But she's stable, and she has provided her son with, looks like, because you can't help others if you can't help yourself. And the way he speaks, the way he expresses himself, the confidence he has, the self-assuredness he has. There's no and trying to dumb it down, because in these environments, being polished and well-spoken like this kid is severely looked down on. Like, there's punishment for this. You know what I'm saying? Like, from other kids. Not from the system, not from supremacists, from other kids that look like him. Period. So he is very, 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 very self-assured and confident in himself to continue to be, present himself very polished, very articulate, very thoughtful and reflective and well-spoken. I hope the best for this kid, man. I really do, man. I really, really, really do hope the best for this kid. I hope, and I know he lives in Birmingham, so that's the stand. I just hope that this kid, they can find a way to get this kid out of there, man, and get him around some gliders, man. Get him around some glacier gliders, man. Unfortunately, that's where we're at now. You're safer, much safer around glacier gliders. I just hope this kid can. I hope the best for this kid, man.
So Hill decided to buy sleeping bags and essential items and fill them in a bucket. He then passed them around into the city of Birmingham.
It feels like there's another job that I've started on. Because homelessness is not going to be done with. It's not going to be an accomplished job. So to be able to put a smile on somebody's face and to know that they're probably going to survive for the next maybe weeks, or just to know in general that I've helped somebody to eat and stay warm out there is real nice.
Hill has helped thousands of homeless people since he started, and he's still going. In fact, he's working on a project to fill a temporary storage full of supplies, and the donations are already coming in.
It's nice because that means we can get more supplies in the door to get them out to more homeless people around our area.
Such a cool kid. If you would like to donate to Ethan's heart, you can find out how on the WVTM 13 website. Ethan is only one of 20 kids in the running for the Kid of the Year award, and he's the only one here from Alabama. And we'll know who wins the honor on February 9th during a TV special on the Nickelodeon channel.
Okay, so this is the family. So, listen, For all of you guys who claim that violence in the community can be cured by fathers in the homes, I'm sure you look at this and you say, well, see, look, I told you. And listen, I'm with you, man, on that, on that this is a great family and this can prevent the violence in this home. And that, this kid, these two kids can grow up in a nourishing environment, obviously. Great environment. The house looks great. The kids always look great. They have the means to help other people. This is phenomenal. My only contention is that if they live in the same neighborhood where bullets are whizzing around recklessly, I mean, the reckless manner in which son teens and son men shoot their guns, like, it's just the recklessness. And if he goes to school with these kids, he's just in the mix with these kids and these other families, some of that can rub off on him. But I love this situation. I love that this is a beautiful picture. This is a beautiful picture. I love this family. Love everything they represent. I support the Hills, the Hill family. I support them 1,000%. And I hope this kid does win Kid of the Year. I'm going to be rooting for him. I'll give you guys an update, too, on whether he won or not. And if he doesn't win, he still won. Beautiful family. Beautiful, beautiful scene. I'd like to see a lot more of this, don't get me wrong. I just don't think one of these can fix a neighborhood, or two of them. It needs to be, you need like over 50% of the families to be like this in the neighborhood to make a real change. And I just don't think that that's something that can be done. I know I sound pessimistic. I really don't mean to sound pessimistic. It makes me sad to know that the best place for this kid, even with this family, is not in the community. I hope they live in the suburbs somewhere. I hope they live in a little, maybe an enclave somewhere, a Sunman enclave, middle-class Sunman enclave, and they can, avoid some of the trepidations and some of the trappings of the hood. I really do. Man, I really, really do. I'm rooting for this family. I'm rooting for this kid.